about the hardest day of sailing in an F50 that you could possibly imagine.
Just keep going. Lose this thing.
If we break our boat, we might lose it for future events.
Whoa! Protest it, protest it. All good, Bill? No, he's not.
I've got to think of what do we have to gain.
Where you're
It's chilly.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We were welcomed by the local Maori people into the city and to the waters of Auckland here. Amazing venue, beautiful sunrise, and a great welcome too. So, new T-foils online, so new config, plenty of learning to be done throughout all the training, and yeah, we want to come out swinging and have a good regatta in Auckland. So Billy and CJ have been involved in the trial process and the testing of the new T-foils. So we're in quite a nice place that they've got some hours under their belt. I would, however, say that that's in testing format, not in racing. So I kind of view that as being like as a nice to have and a half leg up. We'll see whether that'll be an advantage, and the biggest show of that'll be when these other teams get out there and see how difficult it is ultimately.
It's a bit trickier. I think there's added complexity. The fact now that you can trim the cant numbers, which just is a whole new element.
We were basically always maximum cant out. So that's, we're moving the foil as outboard as it could go.
Now with the T-foils, it's trickier because you have more of a range that you can use for different reasons with the cant.
The flight controller can control it, but also the helm can control it, or the strategist can control it. So there's a lot of options there.
It's a big variable that all the teams are trying to figure out how to use it most effectively in certain conditions.
It goes down the wind range pretty well. The boat feels a little bit different. It's not quite as slidey, so it rotates around the foil a bit more. Subtle differences there. I think from myself looking at the data, so there hasn't necessarily been any massive surprises there. It's really finding out what the yacht's capable of and how far into the corner it can push.
Oh, hello there.
The race course here and the city, I think 8,000 person stadium that's lined up at the leeward marks, all the spectator boats.
I mean, you can tell that they stepped it up a notch. Obviously, it's New Zealand, so sailing fans came out in mass, which was awesome to see.
We had to have this opportunity on different foils to work on things that we hadn't really raced in. Felt like a really great opportunity. Let's go, jib up, let's go.
Yeah, so there was a last minute change. We did 4 races instead of 3, which is great. We're always for doing more and more races.
Now it's all 11, and that is a very tight course.
Well, yeah, and what catches my eye is how short that first downwind leg is.
It has somewhat of a mixed bag.
The middle of the line, but Germany's still well positioned. Watch for the line to turn white. We're racing now.
As they approach mark number 1 in the first race of the day.
Rockwool, Denmark, NorthStar Canada, they come charging in. This left turn is quite favoured. It means it's a manoeuvre in. Italy a third, Germany for, Canada spin the boat. They've got to keep clear of Germany there.
So we actually fell off the foils, and then we were kind of back in the fleet.
Oh, that was a tight manoeuvre by the Canadians. Was it too close?
But then we just found, we just made a loss.
Rockwool, Denmark, they're going around the outside. Can Hested accelerate that Danish boat and come back out?
Got caught up on the inside of them. They couldn't lay the finish.
Here comes Canada on the foil still. They look to head over the top. It's really tight as we come in here. What can Taylor Canfield do? He's going to have the right of way. Canada must keep clear. Canada must keep clear.
Danish swinged into attack. followed by the US. We had to follow suit.
Taylor Canfield turns in and forces Giles Scott to take evasive measures, but that opens the door for Rockwell, Denmark, and possibly Germany.
We had to tack. What's supposed to be a reach to the finish, we had to tack and avoid USA, and they almost hit us.
So tight on the line, Rockwell, Denmark, can Germany find a way through?
Penalty Canada, relative USA.
We got a penalty, so it was this whole thing. We ended up getting a tough result.
Didn't turn out enough, and a penalty on the USA. Oh, it's going to be interesting when this one comes out in the wash.
And then the Germans came through and pipped us. So yeah, one of those ones that we'll be looking to forget.
Well, your favorite thing to say is it was really tricky out there. No, we didn't have a great start, but kept our composure, got back into it. Just need to improve those starts really.
Race after that went a little bit better.
For the line to turn white.
And then we had a good race.
Looks like Canada will come in and hold on to third after their 7th performance in the last race.
You know, there's a reality that until you go up against other people, it's hard to be sure whether you're putting things in the right place and using them in the right way. And you know, there's so many good sailors here, so many people that understand these sort of boats and those sort of foils, that everyone's going to figure them out pretty quickly.
Here he comes, the New Zealand crew winding up. How's your timing, Pete Berlin? Perfect out of the middle of the line, and when he needed to deliver, he's delivered.
Last race, we're approaching the windward mark, looking for the right turn. The Brazilians were outside of us with the Italians just in between, and we got squeezed.
Here's where the traffic jam starts.
Oh, what are Brazil going to do here? They're going to go wide of the mark. They've lost it.
Whoa! Protest it, protest it. Hell, I don't know what to do here. Press the board, press the board, press the board. Go for the board. Coming up, coming up. Yep. Diff max. Board up, got it.
I didn't know where to go. I think the comm showed that with a bit of a squawk from me.
Runners have gone on, and they're in the water.
This is the umpires, penalty Italy, relative Canada.
Guys, that was about the loosest thing. Keep going, mate, keep going. Oh, just keep going.
We did quite a nice job of wiggling our way out of there and dropping the board, snaking up around the windward mark and rescuing a pretty tough situation. Yeah, but again, not one that we want to remember.
We're in 8th overall after the day.
I'm disappointed with how we ended up on the results. We've got the wrong side of a few. Felt like we were sailing better than how the results have come across, but they don't lie.
The word I heard most commonly from the sailors was frustrated, because it felt like we made a few small mistakes. Had we not made those, would have been really much closer to the top 3 than we were.
I certainly came off the water really frustrated.
Obviously, super difficult day just in terms of pressure and it being really short and sharp. I mean, just one thing that jumped out to me first of all is we didn't start particularly well today. We're definitely, well, I would have thought, on the back end of the fleet in our Mark 1 positions. So I think that would be worth looking into a bit and talking about how we could.
Objectively, Saturday wasn't a bad day for us because Sunday we found out that there were going to be 3 fleet races before a final, so we knew that there were tons of points out there on the table for the taking.
We had an outside shot of making the top 3 with 3 good races, and that's the mentality I had, that if we went out there and finished top 3 in 3 races, I wouldn't have been surprised if we'd have been in the final race, and that's kind of how I approached the day.
I mean, it was definitely forecast to be windy. It was windy. When we were on the mooring, you could tell that it was going to be a full-on day. It was hard to tell until we got out there how full-on, because there was also a sea state.
It was just that there was about 2 knots of tide against the wind, which just chops up the sea state, and that makes it really, really difficult in these boats.
So it was about as extreme as it gets when SailGP goes racing.
The sailors were really excited about that, and just learn what how we race in these conditions.
We were warming up as usual. As soon as all the boats sheeted on, you could see it was going to be a big day. I think first tack, there was a couple of boats stuffing. First bear away, the Americans had a big one.
Big gust of wind on board the US
Germans almost put it in at a leeward mark.
There was another error in the manoeuvre there.
Danes very nearly capsized.
Hurting so bad.
And we got involved with our issues as well. And
you know, we don't get a lot of time to warm up before the start, so we've got to be pretty clear how we're going to use that time.
So the warm-up started pretty easy. We just did an upwind, starting to feel good, bear away, feeling good, a nice jibe. By this point, we've done almost a full lap and we're feeling very confident.
we're coming in real fast. We were probably doing 80, 85. Billy was in the leeward hull, flying the hull that he's sat in. To make Billy's life easier, I was putting a nice shallow turn radius on it. And then as soon as we turn up, a lot of lift comes on. His hull's skied. The next move is a big nosedive. Yeah, Billy ate it.
You know, you have a big crash down like that, and you know if someone's to leeward, whether it's your flight controller or your strategist, it doesn't matter who, you always know that there's going to be a big, extreme, you know, wave coming over the bow. So the first thing that went through my head is, oh, is Billy okay? Because he was down there. His helmet was gone. He was facing backwards, kind of just in a daze. And
All good, Bill? No, he's not.
it's just one of those maneuvers that we didn't need to push it. And
Stand down, fella. Just let's do the medic. Just push that.
the first thing in my mind was, is he okay? Is he all right?
We called the medic in, they came over.
The medic came on board. I thought there was a pretty good chance that maybe he was okay to keep sailing.
Even immediately after the hit, you know, Billy was talking to us. He was, you know, conscious. It would have been very different had we gone down there and been met by Billy unconscious, obviously, which thankfully wasn't the case.
That was until Annie and I found his helmet, and the helmet was just destroyed. That's when it started to sink in that there's a really good chance here that they're going to have to either prevent him from sailing for concussion, or at least go through the concussion protocol, or possibly worse.
So which forced us to stop sailing. And actually, you know, Billy couldn't carry on the rest of that day, the rest of today.
Getting Billy off was the right thing to do, and get him checked over by the medical staff. And yeah, thankfully he's okay.
Fortunately, I've just heard that a shoulder injury to the flight controller on Canada means that they are unlikely to race today. So really tough for them.
From Billy going to realising that we didn't have our flight controller was a bit of a way up exercise for myself, certainly as a skipper of the team, in really hustling, trying to work out what our options were. Is there anyone who's on shore that's a flight controller?
Who is it from the Swiss team?
What's the guy's name from the Swiss team they're asking about?
I don't know. You'd have to ask CJ.
He's not here.
Not here.
Yeah, Fred's still on there.
The US haven't sailed yet so far, so I don't know if their boat is broken, but I would trust Hans.
Joe, are you there?
I actually asked most people in the coach's booth. I had to go pull their headphones away and just ask whether they have much experience in flight control, and unfortunately I didn't get very far with that.
Coop, like our best option to get through the course is Coop.
My name came up because I had a little bit of training time in Dubai.
Coop. And then if we throw you in this,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
When it's that windy and with that sea state, the decision is are you going to create more harm than good by putting someone pretty inexperienced in that role?
Do we just sack the day off completely? Do we sit it out? Do we wait? Do we see what the rest of the fleet's doing? Yeah, we were just problem solving the best way out. And I just think that you can see how all the boats are going. We don't think racing with Coop is an option if we want to be sure that we have a yacht for the next event. No offence, Coop. It's full on. it was one of those really weird situations where it didn't really feel like any answer was the right answer.
You know, we were speaking back and forth between Giles and Joe, our coach, and we were sort of saying like, well, the worst case scenario is we don't do any racing, but I mean, we're all here out in the water, the boat's in the water, maybe we could at least do some straight line foiling on the T-foils and give me a chance to fly the boat on the T-foil. And
I kind of like Joe's idea of giving Cooper some time.
Yeah.
We don't have to push the fairway, we don't have to push it from around her, but we can do what we did in Dubai, at least use the next 30 minutes.
Yeah. So we did that. We did one upwind. We did one sort of like half reach, and it was one way to sort of salvage the situation. So now I officially have a little bit of time.
We didn't feel that racing with Coop in the flight control was going to be a wise move. Coop took to it really well, but it would have been a full-on hospital pass going out there and expecting Cooper to be able to jump into the flight and get us around the race course on a day like today.
Hang around.
I just think like maybe we get it round the course without sticking it in the drink, but do we really want to?
Like, all you've got to do is get through the lower gate.
No, I mean like if we follow the whole fleet round, like we're going to finish last, we might get it through, we might damage the yacht, which is kind of why we've just been sat out doing nothing.
But we've got to the point now where we've still got boats behind us.
Yeah. I don't think we gain, like today, doesn't feel to me like Cooper gains all that much.
Oh, no.
Getting out there
Zero.
and holding on.
Zero.
It's like, yeah, well done. We kept the yacht in one piece.
Yeah.
It's bloody frustrating.
Oh, it's a missed opportunity, I think, because we would have been all right.
So we stayed on the water because you need top 10 to get points, and there's 11 boats. If other people pulled out of the racing for mechanical issues, then we would have considered entering and just sailing the boat cautiously and slowly around the course.
I think we will do it for race one if all the boats aren't starting, right? If there's a boat not starting, then we'll plug in, and if we do sail, it's full safety, like skimming. Not like don't want,
You like set it down on H2 fairway and just H2 all the way downwind.
Yes, H2 now. Because there's 11 boats, the 11th place boat doesn't get any points in a race. So.
Mathematically, it made no sense to go out and get last and risk, crashing the boat or hurting another person. So we just sort of waited to see what was going to happen.
But we did say that if another boat has a technical and they can't race, then yeah, we'll sail in H2, get to the bottom gate and pick up a point. To be honest, it's pretty desperate measures.
All 10 other boats ended up sailing every race, so there was really no point for us to even attempt it.
Yeah, not happy, but I think we're doing the right thing. As painful as it is, yeah, it wasn't that much fun, to be honest. To say it was a bit of a disappointment, a bit of an understatement. We tortured ourselves trying to make a call if we were going to race. I mean, we all hope that Billy's going to be able to make a speedy recovery. That's the first thing. Flight controllers and sailors for these types of boats don't grow on trees. They're yeah. We need to look after everyone. So yeah, hopefully Billy comes good.
Being the conditions that it was, we weren't really willing to put someone that was new into the job to do it, because it's risking the asset, it's risking the people, and it's a tricky call by the team and by Phil and Giles, but absolutely made the right call today, even if it was a little disappointing for us not to be able to race in that beautiful conditions, and obviously disappointing for the fans.
We got ashore and we'd heard that Billy had got off to the hospital. Initially there was a bit of concern over concussion, and that was given the all clear, which is great. The x-rays have come back, I think, pretty positively.
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that he was okay, because he's our teammate, and that at the end of the day, that's the priority, is making sure no one is seriously injured.
All the teams are going to be affected by something over the course of the season, that impacts the day of their racing. So, you know, we just have to objectively pull any learnings out of it, and then you just move on, you know. And I think all the team are in a good place just to move on.
We didn't go out there thinking we were, you know, any better than anyone or any worse. We kind of just approached it the way we would approach any other race, and it was just a really, really unfortunate stroke of bad luck to have, you know, a crash like that during our warm-up on the Sunday.
Well, I think the most important thing is that Billy is good.
Back from the hospital here in Auckland. All the x-rays came back negative, which is good news. Thank you for all the kind words. I'm gonna have a bunch of physiotherapy ahead of me, but I was gonna say back good as new, but that's probably not true. Back good as I was before in no time. So thank you for all the kind words, and appreciate all the support.
And now we need to work out a plan for what that looks like for the next few events.